Suppose a poll is taken that shows that 765 out of 1,500 randomly selected independent people believe the rich should pay more taxes than they do. We want to test the hypothesis that a majority, that's more than 50%, believe the rich should pay more taxes than they do. And we're going to use a level of significance of 0.05, which is 5%. So first, we need to select the correct null and alternative hypothesis. So the null hypothesis is going to be p equals 50%. And the alternative hypothesis, since we're talking about a majority, we want more than 50%. It's got to be this one here. So I'm going to select D because the alternative hypothesis is p is greater than 50%. Okay, now we need to find the value of the test statistic Z. This can be computed in StatCrunch. So I'm going to go to Question Help and open up StatCrunch. And we're going to do a hypothesis test for the proportion. So I'll bring this into the window here. All right, if you go to where it says Stat and go to Proportion Stats, then select one sample, and here it's summarized for us. So with summary, I'm going to enter in the following information. The number of successes is going to be this 765 out of a total 1,500 observations. It's already selected for a hypothesis test, but I need to select greater than for the alternative hypothesis. So this is already set to 0.5, and p is greater than 0.5. It matches up with this thing here. That's it. If you click compute, okay, we get this value here as the z-stat, which is our test statistic. And if we round it to 2 decimal places, that's going to be 0.77. So many standard errors you are away from the middle of the data, which is not very far in this case. Now the corresponding p-value rounded to 3 decimal places is 0.219. All right, and with this information that we have now, these values, should we reject the null hypothesis? That means this is strong enough evidence to indicate that, yeah, a lot of people, a majority of people do believe that the rich should pay more. Or is this evidence not strong enough that we like fail to reject it? We can't reject it. And I'm going to go with do not reject. The way you can see this is by looking at the p-value. The p-value is greater than our level of significance. That means this data is not strong enough to suggest that the alternative hypothesis is true. So we can't reject the null hypothesis. Before doing the final check here, it is possible that you would choose to reject the null hypothesis. Like, for example, if your p-value was really small, in fact, smaller than this 0.05, like if this number was 0.01, well then, yeah, we would reject. But that didn't happen for this problem, so I'm going to not reject the null hypothesis. And what is the correct interpretation of these results? So we have 2 options. Looks like A is the correct choice. The percentage of all people who believe the rich should pay more taxes is not significantly more than 50%.